My name is David Dam. I'm a computer animation artist here at Spontaneous, and I'm working on I Sell the Dead, tracking in some neck shots with the collar. I think we used Buju to track the neck and the entire shot, the back plate.
So this here is a schematic of everything that went into making this shot in I Sell the Dead. Each little node in the, or circle or dot in the chart here shows a different step in prepping one of those elements. For instance, I'll show you our CG. We got this CG stump from our CG department, and like I said earlier, it came to us as different pieces or different passes. Right? We had just like a beauty shot of the neck, which is just a lovely kind of porterhouse steak looking little. We got the collar all by itself. And then things like the blood. We got just the blood for the collar. And then this way we could kind of put the blood on there and mix it back, color correct it. You know, getting all the different pieces separate gave us the opportunity to kind of massage whatever we needed to make it look perfect.
It might not come together perfectly, you know, right out of the camera. So we have to do things like augment, which is take little bits of hair or draw our own pieces of hair, like we did back here, because keying it doesn't necessarily give you a perfect edge here. So you paint little bits of hair, little hair mats here, and then you pipe that into your final comp. And there's your hair back there.
When we start getting into this and start putting the pieces together and seeing them together for the first time, seeing the CG and seeing everything, internally we have our own kind of like sets of reviews where Lawrence and I go and we look at the shots and think, you know, what needs to be tweaked, what needs to be fixed. And when you really get into it, you start to notice like all these little subtleties. There's a shadow that gets cast by, you know, the neck here, Larry's neck onto the stump. You know, you get these subtle little shadows, like contact shadows here, and then from the collar onto his neck. And even like the collar itself, I think this is the one that was shot. We had to kind of pull and warp so that it looked like it was being pushed around by his head when it went on there. And all of these things, these little subtleties are kind of hand-drawn and hand-tracked, you know, one frame at a time until they look absolutely perfect.
You look like shite, Willie. Yeah.
We also had John Laughlin, who handled the bulk of the visual effects in the movie, and certainly the bulk of our in-house effects. He really just spent an awful lot of sleepless nights in the office, making sure, you know, just either cleaning up scenes or actually getting involved in some pretty heavy effects.
There might have been over 100 visual effect shots that I worked on or finished. I can't remember the exact amount of hours, but I remember it being very thankful that my girlfriend lived a block away, and so it wasn't like I was neglecting her at all. But everything was done and we got to post. Even when Glenn was editing the film, he felt that the film was a little light on blood and gore. Well, not so much gore, but just a little bit more blood splatter. One of the scenes that stick out in mind is where Father Duffy is striking Arthur. Basically, there's no blood there and we just kind of make it splat. And we had to make sure that it was at the right angle.
Maybe there's a sign in the background that shouldn't be, or a logo that is on someone's shoe that shouldn't be there. You know, it's a period piece, so I think when you see something that's modern day, you know, that needs to be taken out.
And as well as that kind of main nucleus of people, we had a lot of people just spread out over the world. We had Ram Bhatt, who's out in LA, who did a lot of the matte paintings, which you'll see in in the animations that bookend the flashbacks. So we've got sort of sweeping shots through graveyards and are panning down alleyways to door fronts. And you know, then also people like Tammy Sutton again out in LA came in and just handled some of our final visual effects, just putting kind of, you know, vapor around the alien when Arthur picks it up. You know, there's some kind of just adding a little touch here and there, you know. We have a couple of dissolves that go into comic book imagery in the movie, and that all that work basically comes from Bram Ravel. And Bram was one of my first collaborators on the movie when I made the first, probably second or third draft of the script. Bram came in and we actually adapted that script to a sketched out graphic novel. So armed with our script and comic book, you know, it helped a lot in getting actors. I really believe that. I think that people like Dominic Monaghan and Ron Perlman were impressed that, as well as having the written word, they were getting a visual as well. That was a little bit more than storyboards, you know. So Bram came in, we made our graphic novel, which is available on Image Comics right now. So head out to Forbidden Planet or your local comic book shop and check that out.